Alright, kids. I think you're old enough and ready to hear the story of how I met your mother. It all started my senior year of college.
Your uncles, Alex Best, Matt Russolillo, Dan Schaefer, and me, your father, Jensen, joined together to form Group 13. I noticed that ABS copolymers were being manufactured in an unsustainable way. Before our group came along, the plastic was derived from petroleum, and we decided to do a case study to determine if 1% of all ABS plastic Lego bricks could be manufactured from organic derivatives. The others were skeptical. Is this even possible or practical, they said? So I broke the project down into 3 main objectives to prove its feasibility. First, we need to find organic reaction pathways to synthesize the 3 monomer building blocks of ABS. Second, we would run Aspen simulations to evaluate the ability to scale up our process. And last, we would compare our process to the standard manufacturing practices to figure out feasibility of our process in practice. My group mates liked the idea, so we got right to work. Matt started by finding reaction pathways for acrylonitrile and butadiene. Before too long, he was filling us in.
So the goal of each reaction pathway is to find a renewable source material that can easily be used to synthesize each monomer in the least steps possible.
Acrylonitrile is regularly synthesized from different renewable resources, but the starting material that best fits our needs was glycerol. While found naturally in various vegetables, soybean, or palm oils, crude glycerol is also a byproduct of biodiesel production. After proper refinement, pure glycerol can be used to synthesize acrylonitrile using the 2-step Sohio process, which involves the process of dehydration of glycerol to acrolein and then oxidation of acrolein to acrylonitrile.
After acrylonitrile, we had to research the butadiene process.
While lacking much research since the 1940s, butadiene has been proven to be synthesized from ethanol, which can be obtained through simple fermentation processes of corn or sugar. In fact, corn is responsible for 97% of the current production of ethanol in the United States. This process is heavily dependent on the design of a multifunctional silica catalyst and can be accomplished through direct conversion or a 2-step reaction sequence.
This was fantastic work, but we had one more monomer to go: styrene.
Styrene was the most difficult monomer to find a sustainable starting material for.
The benzene ring structure in styrene is a difficult molecule to find abundantly in nature. Many fruits and other plants have aromatic compounds, but not many could be efficiently converted to styrene. After initial research, 2 main compounds were seen as possible starting materials. P-cymene can be sourced from some herbs and berries, but only in small amounts. The next most promising molecule is eugenol, which can be found in relative abundance from cloves. The issue here is that a large percentage of the global production of cloves would be needed to supply the necessary amount of styrene. Additionally, these 2 reaction pathways for both of these materials involve several steps. No reaction has a perfect conversion, so the fewer steps the better. At last we discovered that an amino acid called L-phenylalanine could be converted to styrene in just 2 steps. This amino acid is currently produced on an industrial scale for the popular artificial sweetener aspartame. L-phenylalanine is produced through large-scale genetically engineered microbial fermentation processes. The high conversion, fewer amount of steps, and proven large-scale production renders this molecule as the best biologically derived starting material to make styrene.
Hey fellas, sorry to interrupt, but we have to run through some ABET requirements really quick. The environmental effects of acrylonitrile, butadiene, and styrene in the following byproducts are: acrylonitrile biodegrades in air, soil, and is toxic to fish at a concentration of 15 milligrams per liter. Butadiene reacts with ozone, biodegrades in water, toxic to aquatic organisms. Styrene volatilizes from water and soil, will contaminate urban air. The process safety concerns are flammability, carcinogenicity, autopolymerization, worker exposure levels, and proper storage containers. All right, thank you, fellas. Get back to the interesting stuff.
Action.
I'm going to be honest, guys, it's really not looking good. Since we're trying to replace 1% of the annual brick production, we would need around 400 tons of ABS copolymer. This has an equivalent value of $1.9 million. If we were to make our own ABS copolymer following the methods proposed, we would spend $6.4 million on the monomer starting materials alone. It doesn't take an accountant to realize that, before manufacturing has even begun, it's more than 3 times as expensive than just purchasing ABS copolymer in bulk. While this sounds bad, it's because we're unable to buy some of our materials in bulk. I believe that if we were to make a deal with the producer, we would be able to drastically cut costs. Not only that, but we could sell our unwanted byproducts, such as ethylene, for nearly $1,000 per ton. Lastly, and most importantly, petroleum wells are running dry, and as supply dwindles, costs will rise. It is predicted that by 2030, the cost between the two processes will be comparable.
And with that, we had done it.
Wait, what does this have to do with how you met Mom?
Yeah, what does it have to do with anything?
I'm getting to that. We presented our findings to a panel of industry and academic panelists. They were so impressed with our work that they hired us on the spot with full-time positions. I met your mom a few weeks after at work, but I wouldn't have met her if it wasn't for...